Hi, I'm Alan Morgan with Solar Smart Living. Welcome to our Solar Smart Living lifestyle channel. It's a channel that we have on YouTube. Talks a little bit about our employees and team members and some of the things that they actually do in their personal time that is not solar or company related. And so here I am to add to the second installment of some of the stuff that I do on the side when I'm not working with Solar Smart Living.
Tell us about your book.
Oh, actually, this is it, Children of Arla. I actually published this in the last month. It is a book and story actually I've been working on since the early 1980s. It originated as a story called The Advent, which was kind of like a post-apocalyptic sci-fi story about the end of the world and alien races that have been on this planet for a long time, and virtual worlds. So it basically is a kind of a culmination of storylines having to do with virtual world game environments, alien races, and a living planet that is actually a living virtual world on a planet in another part of the universe.
Why did you write your book?
I actually wrote the book back in the early 80s as a story, and picked it up again in 2008 when I started a virtual world game project with Planet Entropia, part of the MindArc Entropia Universe Partner Planet project. And it was intended to be an add-on to the game, so I wouldn't have to be recreating a new game. I took my story, used it as a basis for the background of the game. We fleshed out more of the story through a lot of the efforts of the team members that came onto the project. I had recruited people from all over the world, everywhere from Serbia to Australia to the UK and even in Denver, Colorado, that contributed time towards art assets and 3D models, and a lot of that got used in the final story as we actually fleshed that out. So basically that's what it was originally designed for.
Tell us about your virtual world project and how the book relates to it.
The book is, as I mentioned, the background story to the virtual world project. The virtual world project, as I shared earlier, was an add-on to an existing game called Entropia Universe. And Entropia Universe is a sci-fi based virtual world game that uses a real virtual economy that implements cash. So essentially everything in there, they call it a real cash economy, where everything in the game has value. So you would put money in, you use it to buy assets like weapons and equipment, clothes, and you can trade among other players. There's a market in in the game between players. And it was a great opportunity to use the platform to take the story and create a living version of the story. Because my original plan for the story was to create a game that people, basically a way that people could actually experience the story. So rather than just reading a story or watching it in a movie, they basically can experience it. And that's always been a passion of mine. And the Planet Partner project with Entropia Universe was a great way to do that. But sadly, we were not able to raise the money to get on board with Entropia Universe, so I kind of shelved it. And then in 2014, I actually finished the story and got it slightly edited, but we couldn't get anywhere, so I kind of shelved it again. And then recently, in the last couple of months, I finished it and published it. And now it's out. Ta-da!
In addition to your duties at Solar Smart Living, how do you find time to work on your projects?
Basically, balance. So you just have to be committed to finishing whatever you start, even if it does take you almost 30, 40 years. But you just stick with it. And when I get home, aside from doing stuff, with family and my wife and stuff, I set aside time to work on the virtual world learning, game design, asset design, and the story. You just have to commit that time and get it done.
What are you hoping for from this book?
What I'm hoping for from the book is that we'll be able to sell enough copies, both in paperback as well as on Amazon and Kindle to fund an initial demo. So the more copies we sell, the more money that we'll be able to generate that I can use to prototype the virtual world project and get it off the ground finally.
Nice. And how can we find this book?
You can actually find it on Amazon. So if you go onto Amazon and look under the Kindle or books category and just search for Children of Arla, it will come up. Or you can put in Planet Postmoderno, which is my project name, and that will also bring up the book.
Are you going to put any links on the YouTube channel where you can find?
Absolutely. We can definitely do that. Absolutely. Hope you guys like the story, and definitely put a review after you read the book and let me know what you think.